Hey Taurus, this is Amanda Nardozzi. Thanks for hopping into my little ferret den here, keeping it warm, keeping it cozy. This reading is for the new moon in Pisces coming up on March 10th. That is 2024. So I forgot the year for a second. We're going to start off with the Celtic Cross just to see where your energy is going. Sorry, I got a little tickle in my throat. But thank you for being here, being present with me. Whether you're Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising, whatever, however you feel drawn to the Taurus energy, wherever it is in your chart, I welcome you. This is just for whoever is here. Take what resonates, leave the rest, yada yada, you know that. So thank you, Archangel Michael, for casting your light of protection around us. Thank you, Spirit Team. Thank you, Angel Guides, for helping connect me with the Taurus energy for the highest good of all. And I invite you to call in your spirit energy so that you can tune into your intuition with this message, so that you can take what this energy is and apply it to your life however you see fit. All right, what area of life are we talking about here? Libra, 4th house, Uranus. Okay, so I want to dive into the Astro Dice here for a second, because the Astro Dice is going to help me sink into where this Celtic Cross is talking about. The Celtic Cross is going to describe to me the situation. We're going to pull some oracle cards and roll some dice after so we can get some further guidance on this time period. Now, this is specifically for the time period around the new moon in Pisces, but the way that I read, or the way that I do these readings, is that it's going to be concentrated, like this energy is going to be concentrated around the new moon in Pisces, and then follow through for the next 2 weeks until the next full moon, okay? So this is technically like a 2-week reading, but you'll be feeling this energy a little bit more hardcore. You'll be feeling a little push. Actually, Spirit says specifically a little push for you during the new moon in Pisces coming up on March 10th. So expect like a 3-day window around that time. So like maybe like a day or two before, a day or two after. That's when the energy will feel most potent to you. But you have Uranus, you have the Libra, and you have the 4th house. So specifically the area of life they want us to focus on is the home and family. The 4th house is talking about things that are matters within the home. Libra is finding peace and harmony and balance in such matters. And then Uranus is something unexpected. So something is telling me that there's like an unexpected home or family thing that you're going through at this present moment, or around the time of the new moon in Pisces, or some type of groundbreaking maneuver. Spirit's coming through with something like, it's like because Uranus is the unexpected, but it's also like a switch up in routine. Spirit says it's like a challenge. It might be hard to, some of them are saying it might be hard to make ends meet. It might be hard to meet a home-centered goal. There's something here about either financial, like make ends meet, or like bringing the home together in some way. There might be like a home project that's put on the back burner. But there's something about wanting to create peace and harmony at this time, or like peace is being called for, balance is being called for. I just feel that the energy is very scattered because there's a switch up in routine, and it's almost like new moon in Pisces is going to help highlight those areas so that you can bring in those scattered pieces and ground them. I just see like floating nails and lumber boards everywhere, and then I see you grabbing each piece and then just nailing the boards into place. And that kind of, it feels like the energy of like something needing to be created, or something, for some of you, I'm hearing something needs to go. So either something needs to be created, something needs to go, but there's something in relation to the home and family where it feels like the energy is scattered, and then you're just kind of bringing it back and putting it in its place. And the act of doing that is going to bring peace and harmony. But it's going to be whatever change you instigate with that groundbreaking thing. For some of you, it's an external thing. Some of you could be switching up your routine because you personally feel like, okay, it's time for a change. I'm changing up my routine. You might be wanting to start like a home career, or you might be trying to start like an in-home project, and you're like, okay, I want to switch things up a little bit. I want to start taking initiative on this project, and that's going to be where the balance gets a little thrown off, and that you need to try to bring peace and harmony to that, to find a new routine. For some of you, it's in relation to your gift-giving abilities. So like whatever gift that you have to give to the world, like you're like, I just heard like you're the star of the show. So for some of you, the first thing that's coming to mind is like a YouTube channel or something. So if you're wanting to focus on that, incorporating that into your routine, and then trying to keep your home and family together while you do that. But I do feel like a change of habits and routine are centered around home and family. There was like another thing to that. For some of you, yeah, so for some of you, it's an external thing. So there's something on the outside that's happening, and it's very hard to adapt to those external elements. So like, for example, I don't know, for whatever reason that's coming to mind, that your water bill might be a little bit higher than expected. So you might have to take on some extra work in order to make that end meet. That's just an example of, like, I just see something like an unexpected bill or something elevated. This doesn't mean that you need to be run into your mailbox and be like, oh my God, did I miss something? Like searching all of your accounts. Because that's only like a very small few of you that I see like something unexpected coming up, but it will be brought to your attention. So fear not that it'll be missed. But it'll be brought to your attention around this time. You'll be like, holy crap, and find like trying to find something new with that. But let's look at the Celtic cross, because that's the astro dice, and a lot came through with that, Taurus. So let's go into the Celtic cross. The situation here is the Queen of Pentacles. So we're talking about the material, our surrounding environment. The Queen of Pentacles is very nurturing. She wants to take care of the home and family. She wants to take care of her possessions, take care of the material things around her, take care of not necessarily the home. It's not giving housewife type of vibes or anything, but it's like, I'm feeling like stability. If it is keeping like the house in order in terms of chores, in terms of keeping schedules for your kids, or just keeping things organized so that it doesn't feel so scattered. That's what the Queen of Pentacles, those types of things, and also in relation to like finances and maintaining the home, that's what the Queen of Pentacles in this spread is focusing on. The challenge here is the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is the card of assessing and getting your facts straight. So it could be a little challenging to do that at this time, just because of this groundbreaking thing, because of this thing that's being introduced to your life around this time, and you're like, oh my gosh, like it's hard to get an accurate view of, you know, what things are really like. So you might catastrophize around this time. Uranus does cause like a jolt to the system sometimes. So it's important to stay grounded in your own personal power. What's coming up from within is the Emperor. So you may want to, I feel... This is more of like what's coming up from within is wanting to get control of the situation. So feeling things are out of order and be like, no, I want to get this under control. I need to make ends meet. I need to meet my goals. It's very goal oriented. Like whatever this thing that's coming up is like, no, I have to counteract that. I need to protect myself. I need to protect my home. Just recognize where there are things that are out of your control. I feel like the situation can be brought under control because the Emperor, there are like two ways you can swing with the Emperor here, where the Emperor like talks about, yes, like owning your own power and stepping up into it and creating, it's just a powerful force of change because the Emperor understands that he is in control, but also the Emperor can be taken to the extent of not knowing when enough is enough and kind of releasing, like knowing the things that you can control and knowing the things that you can't is what the Emperor does. Because sometimes the Emperor tries to hang on too tightly to something and try to fix something that is actually beyond their control. So making sure that you are changing the things, making sure that you're paying attention and changing the things that you can control, like making sure those things are in your grasp and, you know, trying to work with them. So this doesn't involve the behaviors of other people. This doesn't involve trying to keep hold or keep attachments to people. This is letting them have their freedom to be whoever they are and go on their own journey. But in terms of managing, like, the physical space and the material, you know, like bills and like all this other stuff that's surrounding the home, projects and such, getting it under control or feeling like it's under, like, you know, putting forth the action to keep it under control. Okay. So knowing that, and it's like, that's Spirit's like, this is your party, this is your jurisdiction. So running in your jurisdiction here. In the recent past, you have the Wheel of Fortune. So something came up. Quite simply put, I'm just going to start flying through this reading because I'm getting like a 1-2 type of meanings for this, but the Wheel of Fortune is just telling me that something happened. It happened, so it feels like it's out of your control. It's just something that, if it's an external event, it happened out of your control, and it's just something to deal with. It's one of the many challenges of life that you have to deal with, and now you're learning to incorporate that into your life and trying to meet that challenge. For others, if it's a new project, okay, if this project might have been a long time coming, at least in your spirit plan, and it's like, okay, well, like, you know, for example, like spring is coming up, so some of you might be trying to work on the garden, or some of you might be starting up, like a woodworking business. Why is that coming to mind? There's just something here about wanting to start something up and this being like the right time to do it, or something like that. But it's starting this new project centered around working out of the home, and centered around the home. So this feeling is coming at the right time. This external thing just happened. It might be shitty timing to you, but it's the perfect time up there. I always tell people divine timing is none of our business, so there's no sense in pondering, like, sitting around questioning why did this happen to me or why is this happening. Just try to get a hold of the situation the best you can, because it's made to help you grow. Okay, the focus here is the Hierophant. The Hierophant is I don't know. So we have, it's interesting because the fact that the Emperor is coming up from within, and the Hierophant is where the mind is focused. I do, like, the Hierophant is focused on structure. So I do feel like some schedule changes are in order. So some of you, if you're, like, I do feel like some of you might be taking on extra work and trying to incorporate those hours into your schedule, or that incorporate that time, or trying to find a balance of some sort. But the Hierophant is about structure. Schedule changes is kind of what Spirit is saying with that. Near future, Page of Swords. And by the way, I see you managing this well. I mean, the Emperor and the Hierophant, especially on both, like, to me, in this, the way the energy is being presented, it actually feels very good. It does feel like it's going to get under control. It's just, there's a situation that pops up, and I'm dealing with it. In the near future, you have the Page of Swords, and the Page of Swords is about breeding new ideas, new beliefs, and this is meant to challenge you. This is Spirit pushing you towards a new way of viewing yourself, because I'm just hearing, like, I need to view myself as more capable in order to, like, I need to surmount this challenge in order to view myself as more capable, and that's going to help you, I don't know, it's going to help you feel better about yourself. It might help you achieve more things for those of you that want to accomplish more things, or if you have set goals in mind. I do feel like I'm talking to a very goal-oriented pile, and I don't know why I said pile. It is energy. It's the Taurus energy, but it's just a new idea. It's just new beliefs about the self. And it's through overcoming these challenges that you're developing a better self-image. This is you being reflected in the King of Cups, being of strong heart, strong mind. Specifically, the King of Cups is learning, I don't know. Remember when I said that knowing what you can control and knowing what you can't control, and taking action based on the things that you can control? That's the King of Cups. The King of Cups does not worry so much about the rough waters around him, because he knows it is temporary and he knows that it'll pass. And that's what I love about this card, is that he has already mastered his emotions. He's not reacting. He's not overreacting to the situation. And I love to see that card as you, especially when Uranus is present, because you have a bunch of floaty things, and it's almost like your focus with the Hierophant is like, I know I need to handle this with structure. So I'm going to create a structure that's going to work for me, and then we're going to try it out. And if it doesn't work, I'm just going to try again with something else. Like, I feel a very determined energy. In the environment, we have Two of Wands, and at the same time, it feels very open. Dang, Taurus, you got, like, a good mindset here. I really like this. The environment with the Two of Wands is having an open mind and being able to plan and dream big. So dreaming big, and I wouldn't say, like, things are concrete yet, but it's almost like the Two of Wands I see as the visionary card. So planning where you want to go, dreaming big, looking at the globe and mapping out, okay, well, what do I want to do? Where do I want to go from here on out? What are the steps that I have to take, type of deal. So again, I would say it's less concrete. Some of you are looking at concrete steps and climbing up, like I see someone climbing up the steps. For others of you, I see more of like a grand vision. Like I see like a big, like in the grand scheme of things, I would like to do this. And it's almost like having optimism for this future that you have for yourself. In your hopes and your fears, you have the Eight of Wands. Now, the Eight of Wands, Taurus, in your hopes and your fears, it's like, you hope that you're going to be busy. You know that you're going to be busy because that's what you're planning for. But it's almost like you fear that you're not going to be able to have the balance for it, or you're not going to have the energy. But there's something about having a lot going on. I just heard having too many sticks in the air. Quite literally what's on this card is having so many sticks in the air. The Eight of Wands talks about needing to find focus. But what's intuitively being channeled through this here, there's just a lot of energies at play. And I feel like you're trying to master spirits. Okay. I'm hearing something about like trying to master every single one, and it's not going to happen like that. You can still indulge in all of these different energies, but I'm hearing a jack of all trades, master of none type of deal. So just understand that it's almost like, I feel you, Taurus. I feel you. Because there's that feeling of wanting to do all 57 of your hobbies in the same day. I do feel that energy of, I want to get this done. I want to there's a feeling of wanting to retreat and find your balance, but at the same time, there are goals to meet, there are places to be, there are people to meet, there are things that you want to achieve. And with this one, it almost feels like accepting. Like your goal right now is to complete a task. So I say, just excuse my French, I say fuck it. I say go with all of these 8 different energies, these 8 different wands, and I say just there's it's important to focus if you want to finish a task. But there's also that feeling of wanting to do it all. So just make sure that you're sectioning things out to where if you're going to do a lot of things at once, make sure that it's balanced. You're not getting overwhelmed with all the energies present, and also that you are sectioning off enough time for each thing so that you feel like you're making progress in it. This is why, I moved around a lot when I was a kid, and I think of the block schedule. So you can still do multiple things in a day, but maybe instead of making it 10 different things, maybe make it 4. I know in one of the schools that I went to, a lot of my schools operated on a 9-period schedule. So there'd be 9 different classes, including study hall and lunch. So technically about 7 different subjects that you were studying, 40 minutes each. Blah, that blows. Very standard, but there was one school that went by a block system, and some of you that have maybe attended a school like this would know that, for each, I think it's every semester or every few months, there would just be 4 classes in a day. So the classes were longer, but it would be more intensive, more of a focus on that one particular subject area, but more was accomplished in a shorter amount of time. And it's just a different way of learning. That's not to say that one is different than the other. You see so many people have graduated high school with the 9-period schedule, with the 8-9-period schedule, whereas others did just fine with the 4-block schedule. And some people were really tired with the 4-block schedule. And some people on the 9-period schedule felt like, oh gosh, I feel like by the time I sink into math and algebra and I feel like I got that down, I'm already moving on to English and I need more focus. So everybody's different. Every system's going to work differently. So finding the system that works for you, I think, is going to help curb this fear, so that you can harness more of what you want to do and more of what you want to experience. The outcome is the 5 of Cups, which is disappointment. So I think this is just a natural part of the process. It's inevitable and it's going to happen. So something I do want to mention with the 5 of Cups is that, obviously, if you're starting a new project, you're going to find things that don't work out, or something's going to happen and it's going to be like, ugh. That doesn't mean that your next adventure is going to fail. That's not what I mean. You only fail, first of all, when you stop trying. I mentioned this to another sign because it's very important to keep in mind. But it's also just, it might not be what you think it is. It's important that whenever disappointment comes up, they say that pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. So that's what they talk about in psychology with the first dart and the second dart. Just make sure that you're only experiencing the pain of the first dart, so that when the event happens or the initial thing happens, that you're allowing it, you grieve it, process it, let it hurt you for a minute, because it's important to process these things. But then don't let any more darts fly at you by sitting in it and reliving it and thinking about it and ruminating and judging yourself, reacting more to it beyond what you would naturally do. So making sure that you're not wallowing in it, because that's the side of the 5 of Cups that we do have to consider, is that, he's so focused on these 3 spilt cups that he's not noticing the 2 behind him still standing. That's an opportunity to go back, use those cups to fill up from the river. He has to go back, but he goes up, he fills up the cups, and then he can go and fill up more cups and then try again. So sit in there, let the first dart hit you, but that second dart, just let it go. That's it, Liz. Just try to let that second dart bounce right off of you. There's a very common thing in psychology that is coined from that. I know it's often used in a Buddhist mindset where pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Those 2 are very closely related. Let's see if there are any other messages for you here. So we got the energy. We're doing some schedule changes. We're finding some peace, balance, harmony, and all of the activity, all of this activity that is scattered and we need to bring down to earth. We're feeling optimistic. We're feeling change. It might feel uncomfortable for some. Some of you will embrace it better than others, and that's okay. It's all a part of your growing process, and you'll build your self-esteem and your self-image off of that. Just trust and look around and notice the signs, because serendipity talks about I just heard watch the world around you come alive. So some of you, if you're in the Eastern Hemisphere, you're noticing that spring is around the corner. If you're like me, you're a little bit down in the wintertime when the skies are gray and it's a little gloomy. And the sun's going to be out more. So yeah, I love the sun. I come alive with it. And, watching the rest of the world come alive, watching the leaves come out of the trees, watching gardens, and I'm starting a garden now. So watching that garden come alive, watching the hillsides just blossom with flowers and stuff. I love that. I thrive on that shit. And I just heard you will too. But, I feel that looking out for those signs, for some of you, look outside and appreciate the nature that's blooming around you. For others, if that's not your sector of the world, things are still a little cold, grim, and blech, that's okay. Or if you're not in a climate that allows for those things anyway, just know that there will be signs. I'm talking repeating numbers. I'm talking whatever your guides send you on a day-to-day basis, spirits, just pay attention, because you will start noticing yourself get lucky. Especially when you're when you meet these challenges, it's not like spirits doing that and they're just throwing you to the wolves. And you're go. They're trying to make it easier for you. You still have to learn what you came here to learn. You still have to surmount these challenges because it is good for your growth. It's beneficial for your belief in yourself. But spirit, when you encounter challenges, spirit's going to be throwing bones to the wolves. They don't throw you to the wolves and then just just let you go, right? They throw you to the wolves, but then they throw bones to help make things easier. So long as you're going through it and you are learning, you still have to go through the ringer, but they're going to try to make it easier for you. So long as you pay attention, try to tune in, notice their signs, and trust that they're with you, because you have the strength in you to get through it. And I know you do, especially with the Emperor and the Hierophant. You also have a leg up, so nobody is meant to do things in life alone. So asking for help from your community members. I just heard from your family. So if some of you are close to your family and then you feel safe to do so, definitely reach out to your family for some help. But a leg up just indicates having help. So if you are starting a project, see if you have a friend that's interested in the same thing, that wants to be I just heard a buddy system. So having your own little buddy system to help alleviate some of the pressure of the type of work that you're doing. So let's say you're doing some heavy lifting, or you're trying to do construction on your house or whatever. Very hard to do that by yourself. I've heard of people trying to flip houses by themselves. Freaking ridiculous. I feel that's next to impossible unless you hire somebody to bring in some super heavy stuff, unless you have fancy machinery and all sorts. But still, it is so much easier to ask for help. So asking for help, especially when it comes to the physical heavy lifting stuff. If you're going through a move, definitely asking for family or friends for help for that. Or even just finding help somewhere would benefit you greatly during this cycle. We're going to pull from The Angel Guide by Kyle Gray, and we'll see what else is here for you. Hi. That one popped out. So, learning experience. We're getting to that point in the reading where spirits, I said what I said and I meant it. So this is all a learning experience. This card comes up when I'm meeting challenging times and I'm meant to learn and grow as a person. And again, the Page of Swords is coming to play here, where which is your recent future card, but it's building your character. I call it character, a character building moment when this card comes up. I roll my eyes. I want to scream to the heavens when I see this card, but you're growing as a person. You're meeting these challenges because there is something you're meant to learn from this. I wouldn't spend so long sitting around racking your brain about it, because just allow yourself to grow, and then usually in hindsight we can see how we've changed as people. So allowing that to take place. I'm all for self-reflection. I'm all for journaling until your fingers cramp and sore, but sometimes you have to do it. Sometimes you just have to put forth that yang energy, that action. You got to get into the nitty-gritty and do it, and then in hindsight you realize how you've changed. Because I think sometimes we try too hard to control the direction of our self-growth, especially if you're a spiritual person, if you follow a lot of spiritualists, if you are hardcore on, I guess, I don't know, I don't really like the word ascending, but I guess how a lot of people say, like, oh, I want to reach higher planes of existence, or like whatever. You're trying to get more in tune, fine. But if you're trying to get more in tune to your intuition and such, and you're trying to grow as a person, a lot of people try to dictate that path. And that's not what this is about. That's not what the journey is about. Let yourself unfold however it's meant to unfold. Allow yourself to bloom. Specifically, there's a card coming to mind from Work Your Light by Rebecca Campbell, and it's the Ever Unfolding Rose, I believe it's called. So you're basically being cracked open because the world needs to see you open. The world needs you open. So just allow that crack to happen, and just allow yourself to unfold and bloom into whatever you're meant to. We're going to pull one more card, and we're going to roll some dice. Whoa, hi. You got some cards that are just gently falling out of the deck. Wide open. With arms wide open. I'm going to sing that song every time this card comes out. I've done this in many readings before. I love that song. But, so this card talks about experiencing life and all of its possibilities and allowing yourself to receive. So again, this is kind of coming to mind, allowing yourself to change however you are meant to change, and accepting opportunities and possibilities as they come your way, as they enter in your consciousness and bloom into these inspiration and these ideas, allowing those things to move through you and take place, because that is spirit helping channel optimism and passion and hope through you. So let that happen. Not everything is going to stick, and that's okay. Just allowing yourself to breathe that passion from spirit, and allowing yourself to receive is going to really help you in this cycle. Let's roll some dice, Taurus, and see if there's anything else that spirit has to say for you. 587. I'm pulling from Angel Numbers by Kyle Gray, and I'll always read these messages twice. So, your journey is manifesting opportunities for you to step up and stand in your power once more. This is a time for you to reclaim your voice and confidence. Holla! Whew. Your journey is manifesting opportunities for you to step up and stand in your power once more. This is a time for you to reclaim your voice and confidence. Well, there you go. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. Thank you, Taurus, for joining me. If it's resonated with you in any way, like and subscribe and all the things, comment down below. Let me know how it resonates with you and how it resonates with your story. I love to hear how this plays out in people's lives, because I read the energy, I just don't know where it applies. So that's your job. So let me know how that works. And if not, that's totally cool. I'll see you in the next one. I love you. Let's try that again. I love you. I love you. I love you. Bye.